Starting with their introduction in Wild World, gold roses have long been a symbol of prestige in the Animal Crossing series. In each game that they're available, there are several criteria that need to be met in order to grow them. So let's see how long it takes to get gold roses in Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City, or cityfolk for those in North America. We start by appropriately naming our town, as well as answering Rover's questions to choose our face. Upon arriving in town, we go straight to the town hall, where we get told to find a house. We choose one with a yellow roof to match the gold roses we're aiming for, but because of the snow you can barely see any of the roof anyway. In order to get access to the shop so that we can buy the things we need, like the watering can, we first need to complete some jobs for Nook. We have to speak to all 6 villagers in the town, as well as Tortimer back at the town hall. While doing this, we pick up some flowers, specifically all of the red roses that we can find, as breeding red roses is the first step towards getting gold roses. We get given the work uniform and our first job, which is to plant some trees and flowers outside of the shop. This specific job does actually help contribute towards getting gold roses, as planting both trees and flowers will help towards another intermediate milestone. Now is a good time to explain exactly what we need to do to get gold roses. Wilted black roses turn into gold roses when watered with a golden watering can. Getting black roses should be fairly simple, as we have a good number of red roses collected, but getting the golden watering can is a much greater challenge. You get the golden watering can from Pelly or Phyllis in the town hall after maintaining a perfect environment rating for 15 consecutive days. The environment rating is determined by the scores of the individual acres in your town. In this game, your town consists of 25 acres in a 5x5 grid, with each acre being 16 by 16 tiles. The way the score of an acre is determined is as follows. Each acre starts with 100 points, and there are several factors that can either increase or decrease the score. Each acre can be anywhere from rank 0 to rank 4, but to get a perfect environment rating, we need at least 9 acres to be rank 4, and all acres must be at least rank 3. This means that each acre can't lose more than 5 points, and at least 9 acres have to gain points overall. What makes this difficult is that there's only one factor that increases points, while all other modifiers are negative. The easiest decrease to avoid is having a rafflesia in the town, which subtracts 50 points from an acre's score. A rafflesia would only spawn if we completely neglected to keep the town tidy and let too many weeds and trash items accumulate, so we can safely ignore this as a possibility. In relation to this, trash items, those being boots, ties and cans, left on the ground will subtract 10 points each from the score of the acre that they're in. Similarly, each weed beyond 2 in a given acre will decrease the score by 1 point. The same goes for dropped items that aren't boots, tyres or cans, so if you were to drop 3 pieces of furniture in the same acre, the acre would lose 1 point, and if you dropped 4, it would be minus 2 points. The only factor that increases the score is the number of flowers planted. This works in the opposite way to weeds and dropped items, in that for every flower planted beyond 2 flowers, an acre will gain 1 point. This means that to get 9 acres with a rank of 4, which requires a score greater than 100, the base amount, we will need 9 acres to have no negative modifiers, as well as at least 3 flowers. All of these seem relatively simple to control, but there is one more factor that makes the whole process much harder. The number of trees in each acre is also relevant, as you lose 2 points for every tree you have below 12 or above 15. This means that we need to aim for between 12 and 15 trees in each acre, though in most cases, due to the constraints regarding space and the amount of fruit we have to plant, we'll just be trying to reach 12. Now, with a good understanding of how to get the golden watering can, we complete a few more jobs, including delivering items and sending letters, so we can finally use the shop. We can sell some items that we got during the jobs, and we buy a shovel, which we'll need to plant fruit trees. Unfortunately, the shop didn't have a watering can on this day, so if any of our flowers wilt the next day, and we get unlucky again and don't find a watering can again, we could start losing some of our flowers. However, flowers aren't guaranteed to wilt, and we currently have plenty to spare, so this shouldn't be an issue for now. But if we do go several days without getting a watering can, we can just store most of our flowers in our house, in our inventory, or in our mail slots. Before progressing to the next day, we first complete the arduous task of marking out all 25 of the acres, starting from the top of the town. This is a very important step, as we need to carefully maintain a certain number of trees and flowers in each acre. To begin with, all 25 acres have fewer than 12 trees, meaning we will need to plant a lot of pears. While this is a very tedious task, it's better than if each acre were to have more than 15 trees, as in that situation we would need to buy an axe to chop trees down. But since the axe is the only tool that can break, we would need multiple axes, so it would take much longer before we could get each acre to have a safe amount of trees. Marking off the acres is also made difficult where there are rivers, as they make it harder to count the tiles. Once all of the acres have been outlined, we start burying pears to reach the required number of trees in each acre. This is also made harder from the fact that trees won't grow on every tile, so many of the trees we plant will end up dying off the next day. This is particularly challenging in the bottom row of 5 acres in the town, as due to the beach, the area where you can actually plant trees is much smaller. This, in conjunction with the river and some houses, makes some of the acres very difficult to plant enough trees in. Nevertheless, we plant all the trees we need and advance to the second day. Upon leaving our house, we meet Rossetti and can already see a mix of successful and unsuccessful trees. We immediately head to Nooks, where we find a watering can for sale, which can be used to water our flowers. We also check what flowers are for sale, but it isn't red roses on this day, so we leave. We go around and water our red roses, as 2 red roses can breed to make a black rose, which will be needed for the gold rose. In this game, the watering can waters flowers in a plus-shaped pattern, so we can just water once on a tile that's side adjacent to both flowers to save a small amount of time. We have our roses spread out across separate acres for 2 reasons. The first reason is, as mentioned earlier, that we need at least 3 flowers in 9 separate acres, but the other reason is due to the way flowers spawn. You get a few new flowers each day, and each chooses a separate acre to spawn in, so if we bunched up all of our flowers into 1 acre, our chance of getting a black rose would be drastically decreased. This is the last game in the series where it works like this. Another thing to mention is that we were quite lucky in that none of our villagers are ones with the gardening hobby. These villagers are inclined to plant flowers around their houses, which, as far as I'm aware, would take up flowers from our daily limited total. But since we have no villagers that do this, we don't have to worry about it at all. It's also important not to plant any flowers too close to the signposts, as when a villager moves in, the house that spawns could destroy the flowers that were placed there. We go around the town watering any wilted flowers, pulling any weeds, of which there should be 2 new ones appearing each day, and planting more trees in acres where some failed to grow. After this, we go to the town hall to check our environment rating, and it's already perfect. This means we just need to maintain the way the town currently is for 14 more days to get the golden watering can. We continue to check the shop for more red rose bags, and on some days it snows, meaning we don't even need to water any flowers on those days. Because of our perfect environment rating, Jacob's Ladder's flowers also start spawning on the cliff areas of the town, and about 1 week in, we also get our first black rose. While we only need 1 black rose to get a gold rose, the more we have, the greater the chance of one wilting, so we continue trying to get more of them. Once 15 days have passed with a perfect environment rating, we receive the golden watering can from Pelly. We no longer need to worry about maintaining the town's environment, so we can keep advancing the days until we have a wilted black rose. At this point, we've gathered a few black roses, and on the day after we received the golden watering can, one of them has already wilted. We water it with the golden can, and load into the next day, where it has now become a gold rose. We place it alongside the Jacob's ladders in front of our house, finishing the challenge in 4 hours and 17 minutes. This probably could have been done a fair amount faster, as for all but 9 of the acres, we could have lost up to 5 points and still managed a perfect environment rating. Nevertheless, for what takes a few weeks of in-game time, 4 hours isn't too slow.